Good afternoon, everyone. At last lecture, we have started with the topic living world. I did with the introduction part how there is a great diversity in living organism and the basic principles of life. We have just elaborated it. So today we are going to study in detail the basic principles of life. Not only the four what we discussed previous, but many more. But very first, you understand why there is a great diversity. As you know very well that life was originated about 3.6 billion years ago through chemical evolution. And this particular theory, we are going to study chemical evolution theory in the lesson Heredity and Evolution. In that topic, you will understand the origin of life with all the different theories. So as just for your understanding why we say the life as it has a living organism and how you correlate living and non-living. As life is unique, it is a complex organization of ions and molecules expressing itself through chemical reactions which leads to growth, development, irritability, metabolism, ability to self-replicate, self-organization, metabolism, reproduction, many more. So as we say with the chemical evolution theory, in short, I will explain that in the chemistry also you are studying that atom is the very smallest unit of matter. Then many atoms together forms molecule, then it forms elements, then compound, mixture, and in this way a complex organization of that compound is being formed. Likewise only the life is being originated, and with all this complex organization of ions molecules, they itself does the chemical reaction what we studied in the unit cell, how different chemical constituent organelles function, which leads to their function. So very first we will see the main important principles of life. The first, definite shape and size as every living being. So now here, not only you will understand the life basic principles, but you will correlate, you will compare the living and non-living. So as we say, a living being has a definite shape and size by which we can recognize. It can be considered with their complexity. So this is the first important character, important principle of living organism. Second comes the organization. As with the cellular level also you have studied, as the biomolecules which are present as the important composition, what we say in the cytoplasm, organic and inorganic molecules, what in short we say biomolecules. Many components organelles together form a cell, then many cells together form a tissue, then many tissue forms the organ, then different organs together form organ system, different organ system together form an individual, and many individuals as we live together forms the population, for example human population, and different individuals, different species population together in the surrounding, in the environment what we say in ecosystem, together what we live with interrelationship with biotic characters also, and it forms the community, and this community ecosystems together forms the biosphere. So in this way, the organization of a life, a living organism is formed. Very, very important second principle of life, organization. Third comes homeostasis. By the word itself, you understand. Homeostasis means what? It is the ability to maintain a favorable internal environment in changing external environment. For example, as we say, now it's summer season. So, as how the external environment is present, likewise with that, the living organism will maintain its internal environment, body temperature, by taking the foodstuff, wearing clothes, taking a meal, what we say, the different condition which prevails it to live, to maintain it with the external environment. That concept we say, which is only for a living organism, living creature only can feel it, can have the ability. Next, so here, these are the two different types of homeostasis. See here, student, I am explaining you in detail about homeostasis. The first types, poikilotherms and homeotherms. So what do you mean by poikilotherms? It is nothing but having variable temperature. As like frog, for example, it changes their body temperature with temperature of environment. It is a cold-blooded animal having variable temperature. Means depends. As its body temperature changes, it will also change with its temperature of the environment. This is the best example to understand the poikilotherm type of organism, which exists as a living creature. Then comes homeotherms. That is a constant temperature what we have. Frog has both. It can live inside the water also and on the land also. So as the temperature changes, variable, likewise the frog will change their position to live in the environment. But homeotherms means constant temperature, warm-blooded animal like we, mammal, or the birds. They are aerial. The bird's body temperature remains constant in changing the temperature of environment. So these are the two different types of homeostasis concept in detail. Very important, poikilotherms and homeotherms. Best example to understand poikilotherm is frog and homeotherms is bee, mammal, human being, and second example is birds. Now next concept, next fourth main important principle of life is growth. Now as I said last lecture also, growth and development is very essential which exists for a living organism. So as growth is a basic feature of life, that if that organism is living, if it is living, that means that organism has growth. All living organisms grow. That means what? They will increase their mass and increase the number of individuals. These are the characteristics of growth. How you explain growth? Growth means increase in mass and increase the number of individuals, or increase the volume of that individual, of that organism. What we say, it is growth. The next, fifth, very, very important, that is reproduction. All living organisms produce new individuals like themselves. This concept I also explained last lecture in detail about reproduction. They may be asexual, sexual, but there is an exceptional case. Many organisms which do not reproduce. So we can say this reproduction is not a defining character of living organism because there are few organisms like mole, sterile worker bee, infertile human couples, etc., which cannot reproduce. Means they can't give birth to young one. They don't have the sexual character. So you can't say that it is not a living organism. It's a living. So with that condition, here I am saying that reproduction cannot be an inclusive defining character of living organism. Remember, student, you may have question of this for your MCQ NEET, which is not a defining character of living organism, reproduction. Next, sixth important principle is evolution. It is a formation of new species from pre-existing one. Evolution occurs due to accumulation of variation. What we say in human being, how from generation to generation, how from our ancestor, some chromosomal or we say hereditary characters are influenced from one generation to another. That is formation of new species from pre-existing one. And variation is there, then few characters are changes. So this concept is nothing but the evolution. The next, death. As we say, for example, at your home, you had your one toy which you like at the most. And as you grow up, your age is 20, 25, you get married, you get your child, but still your toy will be as it is. As we say that it's a non-living. We are a living. We are having the growth, reproduction, response, and very important, death. There are many few things at our home also you have came across, as maybe your grandparents are not still alive, but still their things are with you. And we and everyone, accidentally there is a death. But in general, it is said that after a period of time, each living being dies. Everyone, their death period varies. How many days we can be alive, especially when we will study about kingdom animalia, or maybe in the reproduction, you have came across how different organisms have their lifespan. But with that, you understand death is a very important character which is compulsory to all living organisms from uni to multicellular, from lower to higher animals, plants, etc. Because it recycles the mineral elements and also maintains the population of every species constant. This is very important. And so we say generation after generation, with the marriage, then next generation comes. Likewise, with this you are maintaining your generation, your population of that species likewise. So death is a very important character. Next comes the movement. Movement is also a character, important character of any living organism. So it is of two types. Movement of parts. Now, for example, if you take of plants, it can't move as our whole body can move. That is a locomotion. We are having the locomotory organs. But there are few organisms, few living organisms, only the parts of their body can move. So movement is also one of the basic character of the living organism. The next ninth character principle comes metabolism. This I also explained you earlier. Some total chemical reaction which is taking place in a cell or body is called as metabolism. So who does this metabolism process? This metabolism process is carried out by metabolites. Means whichever the biomolecules which are present in our body, whatever we eat in our meal, all the organic, inorganic, like biomolecule, what we say, carbohydrate, protein, fats, they are being digested and usable food is being absorbed and others are ejected from our body by excretory system. So here, whatever this chemical reaction take place, so they are of two types, depend, anabolism and catabolism. So in our body, it is catabolism by respiration, and anabolism is generally in plants, what we say, by photosynthesis. So these are called as constructive reaction. Remember, this term again comes for MCQ. Anabolism is called as constructive and catabolism is called as destructive. As anabolism, in this reaction, products are synthesized from simple compound. That is photosynthesis. But in catabolism, complex compounds are broken. So that is destructive, means it break the simple compounds, the complex compounds into simple compounds, and then it is being assimilated, absorbed, etc. What we say in the digestion process. So this is carried out, that is example, respiration. What we say, cellular respiration in mitochondria cells. So this is a very important character, that is a metabolism. Then 10th important character is response to stimuli, or you can also call this concept as irritability. What do you mean by this irritability? All living organisms from prokaryote to multicellular higher eukaryotes give response to stimuli. That means changes in the environment. And this stimulus means that action, reflex action, what we say in our case. It can be physical, chemical or biological, whatever the response is given immediately with the changes in environment by the surrounding. That stimulus response is nothing but called as irritability. Clear, student? So here in today's lecture we have completed in detail basic principles of life. So here it is very important to understand. You may get question on this topic regarding to basic principles of life. For theory also, these characters are very important. You understand, you may have 1 or 2 marks question. Enlist the basic principles of life. If it is asked for detail, you have to elaborate the points, how I explain you, and few elaboration points are given on the PPT, what I shown. Understand it very well. In detail, I explain. And the MCQs also I gave, you practice it, and further with daily practice paper I will provide you the MCQs. Students, see this last PPT what I showed, as with all these basic principles, how the diversity of organisms is present. So to understand this, biologists, their one concept came, diversity of organism and classification. Because of all this diversity, here I shown about the animals. Because of this diversity, there was a need to classify. And that classification was also need as but systematically. So the concept comes as systematics. And those who systematically classify them, study them, understand, and give them proper place, name it, understand its character. So this detailed concept we call as one branch. The biologist who does it, they are being said as, and the branch is being said as taxonomy. The taxonomy concept who does this classification of organism, they are being called as taxonomists. So next lecture, students, we are going to understand the concept about systematic. As per your textbook, the first lesson, in State Board textbook, in the first lesson, Living World, they have given the basic principles of life in very short 3 or 4, but still I explain you more in detail, and directly they have switch on to the concept of the taxonomical aids, that is herbarium, then botanical garden, zoological park, museum, etc. And the second lesson, that is a biological classification, they have introduced. But here, according to our NCERT textbook, with that units classification and this living world together, we are going to study both together, plant as well as animals. So here students, we have started with both the topics together to understand. So before getting to detailed classification of plant and classification of animal, you are supposed to study these basic principles, then systematics, then their principle, the concept of taxonomical hierarchy, then classification system, 2 kingdom, 3 kingdom, 4, 5, then their characters, and then we will study in detail about kingdom Plantae, as it is having a great diversity like kingdom Animalia, what I showed in this PPT. So then we will start with the 2 sections, different. Okay, students. So before that, you have to understand this characters, as this part is together to understand, and it is one unit which comprises of this part. Okay, students, study well, understand these basic principles. The next lecture we will study about systematic. Thank you and have a nice day.